It's a beautiful night for baseball, and live from Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks in the first of a three-game series. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner, Oral Hershiser, and Nomar Garcia-Parra. Of course, the Dodgers took 2 of 3 at home from the Padres. The big story, of course, at Dodger Stadium, the play of Adrian Gonzalez, who became the first player in Major League history to hit 5 home runs in his team's first 3 games, the first National Leaguer to have at least 3 hits in each of his team's first 3 games since the Baby Bull, Orlando Cepeda, in 1963. The Dodgers, Nomar, have 59 total bases so far this season. Adrian Gonzalez has 27 of them.
Yeah, and he's hitting .769. If I'm Adrian, I'm getting a picture of my average up on the board, but he really has been unbelievable. What's been so impressive to me is he's facing a pitcher like Andrew Cashner, who can hit 100 miles an hour. And when a guy who throws that hard and misses his spot, it's still very difficult to square up. Well, he missed 3 spots, and Adrian capitalized on all 3 and hit home runs with it. He is so locked in right now and making an adjustment from pitch to pitch. And if you think he can continue that hot streak, well, look at what he's done against Arizona last year. This is his hot and cold zone. Right now, Arizona pitchers are going, how do I pitch to Adrian Gonzalez? They're better off just walking him.
Brett Anderson's going to be making his Dodger debut tonight. The 31-year-old left-hander, when healthy, is terrific.
Yeah, made his Dodger debut tonight, made his Oakland A's debut in 2009. In those 6 years, he has battled injury, including a Tommy John surgery and a lower back surgery. But when healthy, he is outstanding. His stuff is exceptional. He could be one of the elite pitchers in baseball. The breaking ball gets called a slider or a curveball. The fastball has outstanding command, and he gets a lot of ground balls. He can be very, very successful for the Dodgers when they get him 3 runs or more in his career, 24-6.
So the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks getting ready to play. Adrian Gonzalez has hit 5 home runs this year. No team has hit more than Adrian.
All over Chase Field. Always a good crowd on hand here in Arizona as they get ready for the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. Game one of a 3-game set in the Valley of the Sun, and they are certainly here to see Adrian Gonzalez, and why not? Hello, everybody, and welcome back inside Chase Field. I'm Alana Rizzo. Adrian Gonzalez is on some sort of tear to start the 2015 season. 5 home runs in his team's first 3 games. That has never happened in Major League Baseball history before. And why not continue that stretch right here at Chase Field, where he has played so well over his career? In 65 games, a .342 average and 20 long balls. It'll be interesting to see if he could hit it out of the park again today. Don Mattingly saying Adrian Gonzalez has always been a player of very low maintenance and high production. Talked to him earlier today. He said that he continues to prepare and never takes it for granted, but he does love the batter's eye here at Chase Field. We'll see what he can do. Game one right here, guys, coming up for you in just a bit. John.
Valley of the Sun, the Dodgers and Diamondbacks getting ready for the first of this 3-game series, and tonight's closed captioning is brought to you by Chumash Casino Resort, where we are all about you. Don Mattingly in his 5th season as the Dodger manager, and this is the Honda starting lineup he has put together for tonight, with Jimmy Rollins leading off, Yasiel Puig and Adrian Gonzalez to be followed by Howie Kendrick. The Dodgers so far in the young season, 3 games, 28 hits. Their 3 and 4 hitters have 15 of them. 10 by Gonzalez, 5 by Kendrick. Then it's Grandal and Crawford, Uribe, Peterson, Brett Anderson pitching and batting 9th against a 27-year-old right-hander Chase Anderson. And the Dodger lineup tonight,
Well, they're going to be going after a guy coming off his rookie year last year. Had a pretty decent rookie season. He faced the Dodgers 3 times, was 1-1 with a 4.96 ERA. He features a fastball, changeup, curveball. He's got a low 90s fastball, has trouble with command at times, so make him pitch and throw strikes. Also, if you're ahead of the count, maybe in those 2-0, 3-1 hitters counts, be prepared for off speed. He likes his changeup and curveball in those counts.
First pitch of the game to Jimmy Rollins. We're underway. Takes low and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Jimmy is 4 out of 13. A .308 batting average. And last year, tough year in Philadelphia, but he's starting anew at the ripe old age of 36. Anderson misses outside. And it's 2 balls, no strikes.
Jimmy really has been energized. The Los Angeles weather, the spring training with a new team. He is really focused and excited about being a Dodger.
2 balls and a strike.
Dodger offense looking for a little bit of consistency outside of Adrian Gonzalez, of course, with the 6 runs in the first game, 3 runs in the second in the loss, and then 7 runs in the last game.
On 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
How long does it take, Nomar, for a team to get into a rhythm, to start to feel like this is what our offense is and who we are?
Well, they'll also notice when the manager is putting the same lineup out. That's what we see again today. Very similar lineup.
Golfed into left. That's Ender Inciarte. Defensively for the Diamondbacks tonight, Inciarte in left. A.J. Pollock is in center field, and Mark Trumbo, the fallen angel, in right. Aaron Hill at third base tonight. Nick Ahmed is the shortstop. Goldschmidt and Owings on the right side of the infield with Tuffy Gozwich behind the plate. Yasiel Puig, slow start, 1 for 12. Has not fared particularly well here at Chase Field. 226 is what he's hit here. He fouls it off to the right, and it's 0-1.
You know, or to go back to really, but to answer, I think in about a week, if mean a week to 2 weeks, if the manager is throwing out the same lineup, then now guys are saying, okay, this is what it's going to be like. And it also helps that a lot of guys have success in those spots as well, especially the top of the lineup.
No balls and 2 strikes to Yasiel Puig.
And I bring that up because Yasiel's up right now, as you mentioned, 1 for 12 so far in this season. Still early, but when you watch Yasiel, it looks like he's still just trying to find his swing. Like he's not necessarily comfortable in the batter's box.
Gonzalez on deck, and he's been certainly the story of the first 3 games of the season.
And part of that discomfort for Yasiel is the league has really started to understand that if you bust him inside a little bit, you get him emotionally involved in the at-bat, and he starts to swing a little bit more.
Just outside.
See, that's what they'll do. They'll go away, see if he'll willing to chase off the plate, just like you had right there. Maybe they catch the corner, but then now they'll try to bust him in at times to see if they can get him leaning over the plate. Set his sights out there first.
Down on strikes is Puig. 13 at-bats for Puig this young season. That's the 5th time he's gone down on strikes.
Number 23, Adrian Gonzalez.
And now Adrian Gonzalez. And his historic start. You would think 769 is a typo. Well, it's not. 10 for 13. The 5 home runs, 7 runs batted in. He's got a couple of doubles. And he takes low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
That pitch right there is about the only one he can't hit. I'd go down there too if I knew a guy was this hot. You want to just get a read on him. And the great thing that Adrian does, though, he is very intimidating even when he takes, because you don't know what he's looking for then.
Diamondbacks have the shift on for him, and Adrian takes a strike, 1-1. Among his many streaks to begin the season, Gonzalez has driven in a run in 6 consecutive plate appearances. So he better hit one out here now. Two and one.
Well, hard away they tried to go, and they spiked it on the first pitch. The next pitch was low and away, and there they try to go back away. They saw that he was turning around fastballs above 95 on the inner half. They're staying away from that.
Into left field for a base hit. Adrian Gonzalez continues his torrid pace, and he opts to stay at first base with 2 out. Now he's 11 for 14.
And that's what makes him so impressive. Is you're talking about, right, don't go in. He knows they're going away from him because he is turning on. You got a pitcher who's throwing them low 90s, so he'll turn on a mid 90s fastball, but he doesn't try to get big. Here's a guy who is so hot right now, knowing that he has the power, drive it out, hitting home runs, but is just taking what they give him, going the other way, getting a base hit.
And he's just lifted his average to 786.
Yeah, I thought the other one was a good picture. Take a picture of that one.
Howie Kendrick takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. 786.
Howie's no slouch. He's over 400, but that is being dwarfed by Adrian, who's hitting in front of him.
Kendrick at 417, 5 for 12. Fouls it back.
The thing about Adrian, too, is all the quotes that he's had to give and responses about this hot streak. And he says, look, I am not a home run hitter. I am a line drive hitter. My swing just happens to create or it gets in the way and creates home runs. And he showed it in that at bat, Nomar.
You hear that a lot from guys that you say, oh, they're home run hitters.
Kendrick fouls it into the dirt.
And the reason being, because when you go up to the plate, you're not always thinking I'm going to hit a home run. Because when you have that in your head, you have a tendency to get big, or you have really more of that uppercut swing and end up fouling pitches off that you know you should be hitting. But when you're thinking about being that line drive hitter, squaring it up, driving through the ball, then it's the natural lift that you get on the ball to carry it out for it to be home runs.
Anderson on 1 and 2 to Kendrick. Just foul.
What do you mean by getting big? About thinking to hit a home run?
So when you get big, your first instinct is to, like a lot of people say, well, I can really pull the ball. That's where my power is. So when you get big, your front shoulder has a tendency to fly open. Your hips open way too quick. You're trying to generate power so much quicker than you should, and your bat has a tendency to drop when you do that.
Kendrick takes inside 2 and 2.
There's so many people at home that have played baseball that probably thought they had one swing. They looked for the ball and swung the bat. Whereas a big leaguer actually can feel when those mechanics start to get out of whack, or a mindset put him into that.
And Adrian makes the adjustment from pitch to pitch because he can feel that.
3 and 2. Adrian Gonzalez in 12 big league seasons has averaged 29 home runs and 105 runs batted in. What's he on a pace to hit now? 270 something?
His RBIs, just 378 RBIs, 270 home runs.
Ball 4. The Dodgers have first and second, 2 out.
You'll take the under?
Catcher number 9, Yasmani Grandal.
Chip Hale, his first year as the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, who came off just a horrible year last year. 64 and 98, 30 games behind the Dodgers. The 64-98 record for the D-backs last year was the worst in baseball. Here's Yasmani Grandal looking for his first hit as a Dodger, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Yasmani is 0 for 5, 3 walks. Gonzalez at second. Kendrick is at first. Grandal takes a fastball in.
The Howie Kendrick walk with 2 outs and a man on first in the first inning is just an outstanding example of what the Dodgers are trying to do this year as far as grind it out and extend pitchers' pitch counts. It wasn't a selfish at bat at all. He could have opened up the strike zone and gotten big. Tried to hit for power, but no, he passed the baton.
Grandal takes high and in.
And I think there's a big at bat for Grandal right here. You're always looking for that first hit in a new uniform. first hit to get out of the season as well to get that started. And here's a great opportunity, an RBI situation in a series to start the series off.
And knowing he probably won't play tomorrow with AJ and Clayton together.
2-2.
That might have been a ball.
Yeah.
I can see why Yasmani is looking back.
Home plate umpire Chris Conroy in his second big league season.
Take a look with pitch tracks, Charlie. It's got it. Better than my eyes.
Yeah, if I'm a hitter, it's still a ball. I don't care what that says.
Grandal down on strikes. The Dodgers threaten, fail to score. Brett Anderson will be making his Dodger debut facing Pollock, Inciarte, and Goldschmidt when we come back for the bottom of the first. The manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks has put this Honda starting lineup together. A.J. Pollock off to a slow start, hitting just $111. Ender Inciarte and Paul Goldschmidt about as good as it gets at first base. Trumbo and Hill and Owings, and Tuffy Gozwich is the catcher. Nick Ahmed is the shortstop. Chase Anderson pitching and batting ninth against Brett Anderson, who I imagine has a few butterflies.
He sure does with his Dodger debut. The young man has been pitching the big leagues now 6 years, off and on with injuries, not only looking to become a healthy starting pitcher, but an elite starting pitcher.
Drafted by the Diamondbacks back in 2006. Missing away 2-0. As you mentioned in the open, Anderson made his major league debut on this date in 2009. Made 30 starts with Oakland that year, but only 51 over the next 5 years.
Those were definitely career highs in 2009, his rookie season. 175 innings. I went 11-11 with a tough ball club.
There's a strike.
He is a fast worker that likes the ball hit on the ground. He has an outstanding breaking ball that sometimes is graded a slider, sometimes graded a curve, depending on how big he makes it break or how hard he throws it.
Falling behind 3-0, now the count is full.
Definitely a different rhythm than he had in spring training as far as getting on the mound and his leg kick. Right now you can tell he's a little amped up out there on the mound.
A.J. Pollock out of Connecticut against the Dodgers since the middle of the 2013 seasons, hitting a mere .385 and a .467 on base percentage. Into right field, Puig is going back, and on the warning track he makes the play. So Puig is in right field, Jock Peterson is in center, and Carl Crawford is in left. these are the usual suspects, at least through the first 3 games of the season, with Uribe and Rollins on the left side of the infield, Howie Kendrick, Adrian Gonzalez on the right, and Yasmani Grandal catching Brett Anderson tonight. Brings up Ender Inciarte, 3 out of 9 so far this young season. So the Diamondbacks have nowhere to go but up. After finishing 64 and 98 last year, a total overhaul in the front office, in the dugout, starting all over again, and Chip Hale has a lot of work in front of him. Diamondbacks think they can hit pretty well. It will be their rotation that's going to be dicey.
Their starting rotation is going to be short of innings the way it started out so far. I know 3 games is not even a sampling at all, but they're looking for some starters that can go deeper than 5 innings.
And it's the domino effect. If the starters don't go long, then the bullpen has to overwork, and then they get burned out, and it's not a pretty picture. And Ciardi on 2-1, misses 2-2.
Well, you mentioned about that, how they feel that they can hit this year. You know, it's not like, I mean, they have Paul Goldschmidt middle of that lineup, who is as good as anybody in the middle of a lineup, but they still struggled to score last season. I mean, they were tied for lowest in franchise histories for at 3.8 runs per game. So I think they feel they need to improve in all areas.
It was a 64 wins they had total last year, and I would think around their club, if they can improve by 10 to 15 wins, they would think that was a huge upswing.
Here's a 2-2. Anderson should have an easy play as he fires a strike, getting the speedy Inciarte. There's 2 out. So Brett Anderson signed a 1-year deal with the Dodgers. And if he can stay healthy, as you mentioned in the beginning, Oral, he has the stuff to be an elite pitcher.
He sure does, and he showed that confidence in the offseason. He was courted by a few different teams for multi-year deals, but he wanted a 1-year deal and to really prove to people going into his free agent year that he is an elite pitcher.
There's a strike.
When healthy, he has been outstanding. As I said in the open, when his teams that he has pitched for have gotten him 3 runs or more, he is 24-6.
Paul Goldschmidt. Chopper to third. Going to be a tough play for Uribe. And there will be no play. An infield hit for Paul Goldschmidt. Expecting a hop that wasn't.
Yeah, Uribe was the only chance he had, knowing that he had to bare hand this one. So he's got his body in position. You'll see he's getting ready to bare him, but watch the spin. It kicks away from him right there. He really had no chance. That's why he ended up giving up on it, because 1, he couldn't reach it on that spin, and then 2, after you know that as a player, you're going, well, maybe hopefully it really had so much spin where maybe it goes foul.
So Goldschmidt at first with 2 out. And here is Mark Trumbo. Takes inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Trumbo in right field this year. You may recall he was in left field when the Dodgers opened in Australia a year ago. There's a strike.
He looks a little lighter this year, too. Looks like he's been working on getting thinner so you can have a little more range in the outfield. Never been considered a very good defender.
Maybe that's why this is the 4th different position he has started at in the last 5 years. First base, third base, left field, and now right. And a ground ball to short. Nice easy hop for Jimmy Rollins. That'll do it. No runs and 1 base hit. As we head to the second, Carl Crawford, Juan Uribe, and Jock Peterson will be coming up.
Give personalized recommendation.
The 2015 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 31 highway MPG. It's the perfect choice. Visit Jeep.com today. Of course, the Dodgers train here in Arizona. They were home for a grand total of about a week, and here we are back in Phoenix, about 15 miles or so from Glendale, as Brett Anderson gets to relax after his first inning as a Dodger. Carl Crawford leads off the second, and Carl takes a strike. It's 0-1. So the Dodgers enjoy coming to Arizona, especially playing the Diamondbacks. They were 15-4 against the D-backs last year. 7-2 at Dodger Stadium, 8-2 here. Up and in, 1-1.
Carl has gotten off to a fast start, as you can see in that graphic, hitting .400, 4 for 10.
And a hit in each of the first 3 games. Outfield straight away. 2-1.
Well, Carl's right in a 10-game hitting streak. And you're going, wait a minute. They've only played 3 games. Well,
you're including spring training?
No. Dating back to last year. He ended the season on a hitting streak and has carried it into this season.
Finished the year last season at .300. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And remember when Carl had that ankle injury and then he came back? I mean, since August 4th of last year, he has the highest batting average in the major leagues, batting over .400 since that span.
But down on strikes. Third strikeout for Chase Anderson.
Well, Chase Anderson took 25 pitches to get through that first inning, and the Dodgers are grinding it out. Even though they don't have any runs, they're getting the pitch count up.
Juan Uribe still has not found his rhythm this spring. Didn't do particularly well in Glendale, and he's won for his first 9 as the season has begun. He takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Of all the Dodgers, he would not want to come back to Arizona. As bad of his experience he had this spring. He's like, do we really have to start on the road in Arizona?
0-2 to Juan Uribe.
When you're really not feeling it as a hitter, you end up going, oh, that one he fouled off. You're like, man, that's one I usually hit, and you get upset with yourself. And then you find yourself in the hole all the time. It feels like that.
But you taught us last year that foul ball over the opposing dugout is a good sign.
It is. It can be a good sign. Is if you fouled it off, almost like if you squared it up and it was like almost like you were super late. Mm-hmm. It's not a bad thing because you could always feel like you can speed up.
So you don't want to pull a lot of balls foul.
Yeah.
Now you're like,
it's funny you say that because a lot of people think back home, oh, I'm right on it, I'm pulling it. It puts in, and some pitchers, as you know, think, oh boy, he can turn on my fastball. Mm-hmm. But for a hitter, it's really difficult at times to almost slow down and wait for it.
1-2 from Chase Anderson. At short, Ahmed throws out. Uribe, that's the second out. Nick Ahmed, an outstanding defender. The question is, can he hit?
Oh, he showed off his range, showed off his arm there, able to throw off the run.
You remember last year, the question was it going to be Didi Gregorius or Chris Owings to be the shortstop in Arizona? Gregorius, of course, shipped off to New York. Owings is now playing at second base. And Ahmed, the slick fielder, is at short. Here's Jock Peterson, 2 for his first 10. His 2 hits, both doubles. Infield plays Peterson to Pole. The third baseman, Hill, is about a third of the way to second base. The outfield is straight away. Nice play by Owings. Peterson is robbed, and the inning is over. Nothing across for the Dodgers. Chris Owings, once upon a time a shortstop, makes a spectacular play at second to finish off the Dodgers in the top of the second. Road trip for the Dodgers, just a weekend excursion to Arizona. Back home on Monday. The Seattle Mariners will be in town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights. Aaron Hill leads off for the D-backs in the bottom of the second. He's 4 for his first 9. And he takes inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. He had been the starting second baseman. They envisioned Jake Lamb to be their everyday third baseman. So Owings is playing at second tonight, and Hill, at this point of the season, while getting the start tonight, figures to be the odd man out. And a fly ball to right field. Puig going back, and he's got room. So Brett Anderson making his Dodger debut, and down by the first base dugout, Alana Rizzo with more on the Dodger right.
Well, guys, I asked Rick Honeycutt, the Dodgers pitching coach, to tell me something about Brett Anderson that he didn't know when he first met him. And he basically said, in a word, invisible. What he means by that is the fact that he's very quiet. He said oftentimes he'll just sit back and kind of observe what is going on. You'll often find him in the team's quiet room. He said on the mound, though, he's a very different person. He has aggression. He doesn't walk guys. He commands several pitchers. And he won't allow you to beat him. He has to beat himself, which obviously he tries not to do. He also said that he's just a different kind of guy than what he expected, but he loves the way that he works quickly. Now, Brett Anderson obviously pitching tonight. He'll likely pitch again on April 15th. And the Dodgers didn't need a 5th starter until April 14th. Rick Honeycutt saying that's not going to be a bullpen day. They do have a few guys in mind.
There goes Puig to right. And that's the third fly to right field in which Puig has made the catch on the warning track.
Well, Brett Anderson, ground ball pitcher, right? I mean, I think he had a start against the Angels in that freeway series, and that was his first recorded fly ball out of all spring training. Up until that point, he hadn't recorded a fly ball out.
He's a little amped up, and when your guy likes to keep the ball down and get ground balls with the two-seamer, you can be amped up and the ball starts to elevate. Fortunately, has not left the ballpark.
Pollock, Hill, and Owings have all flied to fairly deep right field. As Tuffy Gozwich, 2 for 8 this young season, takes a ball outside.
Oral, when you're amped up like that, how long does it usually take for you to maybe calm down from it?
It can take, a long inning out there on the mound where you battle yourself, or maybe even, with the National League pitchers, you could actually get in at bat, maybe running to first base just to get the edge off. I run to and from the dugout when I thought I was too amped up. I'd rather be slightly winded and calm than so strong and not in control of my body or my emotions.
So Brett Anderson, 31-year-old left-hander from Texas,
So running to first base means you made contact, so you can go to first?
Yeah, and even if I struck out, I just run down there.
2-1. 3 balls and a strike to Tuffy Goswich. Of course, Miguel Montero had been the catcher here in Arizona. Shipped off to Chicago, and first walk surrendered by Anderson.
He tried to throw a little cut fastball in the outer quarter of the plate out there, and it looks like it just ran off the plate for him. Yasmani really starting to realize that he's having trouble getting the ball down. Actually dropped down to one knee there to give the target. Doing a good job making adjustments. Catchers can see your misses in the pattern and start to make the adjustment for you.
Nick Ahmed takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Ahmed grew up right on the Connecticut-Massachusetts border in East Longmeadow. Still lives there. Played 25 games last season with the D-backs, 70 at-bats, and hit 200. There's no question about his defensive prowess. Can he hit consistently at the big league level? That is what they are wondering and about to find out.
Well, big at bat for Brett Anderson to have the pitcher lead off the next inning. That's what you want to do. So you want to get this number 8 hitter out. So the leading lady next inning is the 9 hole.
A ball, a strike, and 2 out. Oof.
82 mile an hour breaking ball, trying to get it to come down. Fortunately, came down enough to get a called strike. You see where Yasmani is setting up, and then the glove has to go up and towards the middle of the plate. That is officially a hanger for a strike, and you're just glad to get it back.
Ball and 2 strikes and 2 out. To the right side, Kendrick is there, and that's going to do it. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left. When we go to the 3rd, Brett Anderson will be leading it off for the Dodgers, and Rollins and Puig, and if anybody gets on, Adrian Gonzalez. '98 as Monty Grandal taking a cold drink of water. Don Mattingly beginning his 5th season as the manager of this club, and that's Tim Wallach, his bench coach. And one of the things about this Dodger team this year, because of the nature of the bullpen, Kenley Jansen not due back probably for another month or so, there's going to be a lot of mixing and matching. There's going to be a lot of chess games played out of the Dodger dugout, more so certainly than we saw last year.
I think you're exactly right, Charlie, with the different pieces that you need to mix and match to get through the bullpen, or really to get through the opposing lineup. You're going to use some of your pieces like Andre Ethier right there.
Brett Anderson leads off and takes a strike.
And if the offense turns out to be one that's a grinded out, a little bit more geared to get 1 run or 2 runs and not the huge innings, you're going to have maybe some more pinch hitters and some more matchups that you're going to want to play.
Double switching the other night. Van Slyke pinch hit for Crawford. Foul back and out of play, and came out to play left field late in the game.
And that poses a challenge for Don Mattingly, because he's going, okay, how do I keep these guys sharp, such as Andre Ethier? Where am I going to try to find them some playing time, some at bats? Scott Van Slyke.
One of the nice things for the Dodgers is the off days here early in the season, because they don't need that 5th starter but twice in the month of April. But that's a blessing on one side for the rotation, and it's not such a blessing for the guys on the bench, because when there's off days, that means the regulars are rested and get to continuously play, and you don't have those spot starts for the Justin Turners and the Scott Van Slyks and the Andre Ethiers.
Ethier, by the way, as Rollins steps in. Happy birthday to Andre, turning 33 today. Ethier, who grew up in Phoenix, St. Mary's High School, played collegiately at Arizona State, made his major league debut here at Chase Field with the Dodgers, and what a trade that turned out to be for the Dodgers, almost 10 years ago now. Andre Ethier from Milton Bradley. A 1-1 inside and low, 2-1 to Rollins, who flied to left in his first at bat. No score with 1 out in the 3rd.
We're seeing an awful lot of off-speed pitches in hitters' counts already, like you advertised, Nomar. Curveball right there and a 2-1, usually backed into a fastball count. We saw some earlier change-ups in hitters' counts.
Anderson, 6'1", 195, has now struck out 5 batters, 2 out, and nobody on. You know, whenever you come out to a Dodger game, there's a good chance of seeing some fireworks, but you get a little more bang for the buck on Fridays, because Denny's presents Friday Night Fireworks. Come on out April 17th. Take your place on the field to see the fireworks featuring the sounds of Coachella 2015. 2 out, nobody on, and Yasiel Puig struck out swinging in his first at-bat. 0-1. Puig had a slow spring and off to a slow start. 1 for 13.
Yasiel is getting some kind of signal from the bench over there, with his face facing, while he's in the batter's box, the Dodger dugout. But the last 2 at bats, there's been somebody over there giving him some advice as they watch when he starts as far as his swing.
Anderson to Puig on 0-2. Into short center, and A.J. Pollock is there. 7 straight retired by Anderson, who will lead off for the Diamondbacks, to be followed by Pollock and Inciarte when we return to the bottom of the 3rd. Scoreless as we go to the bottom half of the third. And this matchup, Anderson against Anderson in the bottom half of the third inning. In case you're wondering, and who isn't? Anderson takes a strike from Anderson, and it's 0-1. The last time two pitchers with the same last name faced off against one another was 3 years ago. Roberto Hernandez against Felix Hernandez. And there was a time when the Weaver brothers faced off against one another, Jared and Jeff. And Yasmani Grandal is wondering why he chose this profession. Right off the knee.
And those knees are not always completely covered because of the bending of the equipment. There's some little areas there where it can sneak in.
A.J. Ellis, of course, is the backup catcher. A.J. is slated to start tomorrow night when Kershaw goes.
Immediately start stretching if you're A.J.
A.J. turned 34 yesterday. Grandal trying to walk it off.
And the catcher, I mean, obviously they get those foul tips off them. They also go, must be a pitcher up there. One of those guys who don't square it up, who end up fouling those balls off of you more than guys who hit all the time.
You know, this generation of catchers has those knee savers on the back, those pads that they can actually sit on there, and that takes some stress off their knees, but it sure doesn't take that pain away from getting hit on the end of the knee.
0-2. Anderson down on strikes. First strikeout for Brett.
Center field, A.J. Pollock.
Well, pitchers in general are not good breaking ball hitters. You just go ahead and go right after him, and nice breaking ball right there from Brett. It's still a little too far up. You don't want to throw that breaking ball to a regular.
The 37th pitch of the game from Brett Anderson. That's a much better looking breaking ball.
And that one was better because it started off the plate as a hitter. You instantly freeze going that, thinking that's going to be a ball, and it breaks right back from the outside corner.
Pollock flied to right at his first at bat and went around. The count is 0-2.
You love that one too, because you never want to throw a worse one after a good one.
But it started off as a strike in the strike
right
zone.
there,
so the hitter's thinking that, and then by the time you commit, you're like, oh, that's breaking out of the zone.
Up the middle into center field for a base hit for A.J. Pollock, his second hit of the season.
3 in a row. One good one for a strike, another good one for a chase, and then back to a strike breaking ball, and you throw 3 in a row. A.J. Pollock gets the rhythm and the timing of it, hits it right up back the middle. You actually want to bounce that one if you're going to go 3 in a row. You can't have them get worse. They've got to get better.
Ender Inciarte steps into the batter's box. They liked Inciarte so much they were comfortable in trading Gerardo Parra. Now, how about Yasmani Grandal, who just took one off his knee a half a minute ago, and he's able to pounce out and block that ball that was in the dirt.
Well, he does a good job here. Uses the shin guard as well, trying to get in front of it. As he said, Charlie, he got it so quickly. I mean, Pollock over there was looking to go to second and realized I have to hold up here because he got that quick.
In the moment, it doesn't hurt. Right after the play's over and he goes out there like a cat and gets the job done, walking back behind home plate is when it hurts.
Pollock can steal a base. 14 out of 17 last year. As Inciarte takes a strike, it's 1-1. Inciarte, 5'10", maybe a $190. In 118 games last year, hit .278. up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Pollock will hold at second. So the Diamondbacks with a threat going.
Well, back-to-back ground balls up the middle, and you're getting the ground ball. They're just not hitting them at him right now. But you've got to play the percentages and continue to try and get the ball hit on the ground. But it hurts a little bit when you get two seeing-eye ground balls and then you get this guy coming to the plate.
And you were talking about that breaking ball. It's okay against the pitcher, but here's a guy that you don't want to have a bad breaking ball to, because he'll make you pay.
Over the course of his career, he has been very good on the first pitch. And that has been too good. It's on its way and into the pool for a home run. Paul Goldschmidt, over the course of his career on the first pitch of an at-bat, is a .445 hitter. And his average just went up. And the Diamondbacks take a 3-0 lead.
Fastball, first pitch right there, out over the plate, really down center cut. Paul Goldschmidt plants it up there by the pool. Give up 2 base hits on breaking balls, and the hitter comes up there thinking, I don't think I'm going to get a breaking ball. I think I'll sit dead red, and that's what he got.
Now Trumbo, 1 ball, no strikes. Nope, 1 around, according to first base umpire Ted Barrett.
Hard to believe you can be successful on the first pitch.
Of course, you made a career.
Oh, I mean,
as a
see a lot of success on that pitch from a lot of batters. And I mean, I'm thinking about, when Josh Hamilton won the MVP, he talked about how he was more aggressive on the first pitch. Mike Trout, who's just coming off an MVP, and he's saying, I need to be ready when I step into the box. I had too many strikeouts. I need to be more aggressive.
Pitchers on the first pitch are throwing to more of the middle of the plate because they want to get ahead.
Well, isn't that what the theory of all the pitchers are thinking? Okay, listen, need a ground ball, get ahead, throw strikes. So if it's there, hit it. And that wasn't a strike, and that's why he didn't swing.
So meanwhile, Anderson has to regroup as the Diamondbacks have an early 3-0 lead on the home run by Goldschmidt. The home run by Goldschmidt, his first of the year, and his first 3 runs batted in. Dodgers took 15 out of 19 from Arizona last year. 8 of 10 here at Chase Field. Down 3-0 in the third. Anderson delivers a strike. Trumbo is done. Second strikeout for Anderson. There's 2 out.
Change up blowing away, or off-speed 2-seamer. Looks like a change up. Stays right there on the corner. Very nice pitch.
Now here's Aaron Hill. 4 for 10 with the shift on. Jimmy Rollins fires across the diamond, and that ends the inning. Back-to-back singles for Pollock and Inciarte, a 3-run home run for Goldschmidt. Arizona 3-0 as we go to the 4th. At the T-Mobile Game Changer. This is from last year at Chase Field, about a year ago. Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Sound familiar? Gonzalez with a hit tonight was, of course, 4 for 4 on Wednesday night and had 3 hits in a row, the final 3 hits, final 3 at-bats on Tuesday night. So he's merely 8 for his last 8. And hitting a meager 786. You can't do that in stickball. Shift is on for him. 2-1.
I'm watching him right now, and you mentioned it, Orel. Even the way he takes the pitches, even off speed, he's not off balance.
And I'm facing a hitter like him right now with a 3-0 lead. I would go strength against strength, as you want to save some bullets if you were Chris Anderson about how am I going to get him out the next time.
So he works out a walk. So he's been on base in his last 9 plate appearances. 8 hits and a walk.
Yeah, to give up the walk after getting the 3-run bomb from your first baseman is just a cardinal sin, and it's even more of a cardinal sin when you're going against such a hot hitter as Adrian Gonzalez, because he's hitting almost everything, so you might as well just go right after him. It's not like the game's on the line right there. You don't want to set the table for the Dodgers.
Kendrick walked in his first at bat. Howie's at 417, 5 for 12. Takes a strike and it's 0-1. You don't ordinarily think of Howie Kendrick as a cleanup hitter. Oh, he batted cleanup 39 times last year with the Angels, 10 games before that in 2013, and only 3 times prior to that. So here he is in the cleanup spot, 4th consecutive game, and the way things are going, he may be there a while.
And what you're talking about, Charlie, is traditional lineup construction, but as we get more and more into the sabermetrics and really analyzing where you want certain hitters, the 4-hole not necessarily looked upon anymore as a guy who just hits home runs. They actually think that the 2-hole might be the most important hole in the whole lineup now, because it comes up more often in the 9th inning. You don't want your best hitter sitting in the 3-hole in the on-deck circle in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, Trout is batting second. Of course, Puig is hitting second for the Dodgers these days. Here's the 2-1 to Kendrick. Up and in, 3-1.
Our top hitting and fielding prospect in the minor leagues is now hitting second, Mr. Seager,
who went 2 for 4 last night, by the way, in his first game at Double-A. A double and 3 RBIs.
Every slot in the order over the course of a major league season is worth 20 plate appearances. So the first hitter is going to get the most, and the second hitter in that slot is going to get 20 less. Third hitter is going to get 40 less than the leadoff guy. And now so on down the order.
Count holds at 3-2 to Howie Kendrick with Yasmani Grandal on deck.
So if the leadoff hitter is your speed guy that needs to get on base, you immediately want to get into some kind of power if you really want to talk about the numbers and how quickly you want to get into your best hitter.
Taylor made double play. Ahmed, Owings, Goldschmidt. A generation ago, the number 2 hitter was generally a left-handed batter.
Yep, and the mentality behind that being that if the leadoff guy got on, it could be tough for the catcher. He can steal, and also they can pull it because he's holding the runner on. There's a hole over there on the right side. So there was a lot of thought why that 2-hole would be a left-hander. But going back to Howie, too, being in the 4-hole, you know, if people are doing their job in front and getting on base, you would like a guy who's a high contact guy in the middle of your lineup to be able to knock guys in. I think you see, you know, there was a time, too, where it was just, yeah, you had power in the 4-hole, but it was more and more as we've seen how strikeout rates are increasing. It's like, okay, it's either a big swing, either they make contact or they're striking out, and you're really, you know, kind of killing an inning with that strikeout rather than putting it in play and at least something possibly happening.
And home run totals are down from their heyday 10, 15, 20 years ago. So now contact hitters who put the ball in play, put the ball in play hard. Now the 1-2, and Grandal takes inside.
There are a lot of different criteria in older culture and then even current day where you want the lineup to be balanced, go left, right, left, right, left, right, or as the Dodgers with some switch hitters mixed in. But also then you talk about the speed of each player because you try to keep faster guys out in front of slower guys so you don't have your base cloggers. And so with Gonzalez and Kendrick, you would think Kendrick's the faster runner. You might flip those.
Grandal well hit to right center field. It is way back, and it is gone. A home run. Yasmani Grandal, his first hit as a Dodger, a long-distance home run, traveling well over 400 feet. The Dodgers are on the board. It is 3-2. Correction, 3-1. The double play, of course, erased Gonzalez. 3-1.
Well, Yasmani does a good job because they were looking for the ball away, and this ball comes in on him. And earlier in the at-bat, they had a fastball that almost hit him on the inner half. So he was probably looking in there saying, okay, when you come in here, I am not going to miss. And he brings his hands in nicely, gets the barrel on the ball, and he drives that to right center.
Yasmani last year with San Diego, only 377 at-bats, had 15 big flies.
Crawford to second base, and this will end the inning. But Yasmani Grandal with his first hit as a Dodger, a 400-and-something foot home run. Long distance shot. The Dodgers are on the board. 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Given the Dodgers won, they trail 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. And the question is, what's in a name? The answer from Alana Rizzo.
I can tell you Brett Anderson is facing Chase Anderson tonight. Since 2005, there have been 8 times where the starting pitchers facing one another had the same last name. Of note to the Dodgers and Diamondback fans, Oliver Perez faced Odalis Perez. In September of 2005, you mentioned it before, Charlie, brothers Jeff Weaver facing Jared Weaver. In June of 2009, and D-backs Daniel Hudson faced Tim Hudson when he was a Brave in 2012. And Steiner, what about 2 Steiners? I don't know.
Well, you know, remember John Lowenstein, the outfielder, Baltimore, Cleveland? His nickname was Steiner. That's as close as I can come.
Well, we can guarantee there's never a Garcia Parra against a Garcia Parra or a Hershiser against a Hershiser.
Not on the mound.
Owings bounces to Uribe, 1 out of the 4.
But there was a Garcia Parra versus a Garcia Parra in a game in spring training.
Really?
Yes. And Garcia Parra had a walk-off hit to win the game in spring training, and it wasn't this guy.
Your brother, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who was your brother playing for?
We played him there at Seattle at the time.
Tuffy Gozwich steps in, and my sense is there's never been a Gozwich versus Gozwich.
And now your brother is running outstanding baseball camps and doing outstanding coaching for youth.
Yeah, he does that. He's also a scout. I don't have to say what team.
Don't say what team.
I won't.
All right. What team?
The team that knocks us out of the playoffs every year.
Those guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't talk to him during that time.
You shouldn't talk to him any more, period.
Yeah.
Gozwich takes a strike. Whacks it foul toward the Dodger dugout. Two and two with 1 out of the bottom of the 4th. Gozwich walked in his first at bat. There's Rollins.
Some anticipation on that play, Nomar, and first step quickness.
Well, the way you get that is reading that ball into the hitting zone. So you're already anticipating, and it also helps if your pitcher is hitting his spots. So you're following the ball. You're following also the way the movement of the catcher, if his glove is getting as it's going to the ball. So you're anticipating that, and then you see the swing, and he gets a great first step and makes a great play.
And certainly worthy of a Carl's Cam replay. 2 out. Nick Ahmed bounced to second in his first at bat. One ball and 1 strike. Watching Rollins play at short now at the ripe old age of 36, he may not have the quickness he once had, but he's got the baseball smarts. He just seems to know where to be. And how does he do that? He looks at the catcher flashing the signal. What is it that an experienced shortstop does that the younger ones may not?
Well, one, you recognize the scouting report and how to utilize the scouting report. One, you also read the way the hitter is swinging his bat through the zone. And there are some batters as you're looking in the hitting zone where the bat goes in and it goes out quickly. And then there are some batters who the bat gets in the hitting zone soon and stays in there a long period of time and then comes out. And those guys are really tough to read because when you can't really tell if the ball's anticipating where he's actually going to hit it. Is he going to stay inside? Is he going to pull it? But those that are in and out quickly, you see that and you can already anticipate where the ball's going and where they're going to hit the ball if they make contact.
So Jimmy Rollins at the ripe old age of 36.
And if you're kind of wondering the type of hitter I'm talking about who's tough, I think about Albert Pujols, who gets the ball in there and stays there. Lance Berkman, when he was one of those guys. Michael Young was another one of those guys that I can remember playing in that got that bat in there and stayed in the hitting zone.
Jimmy in his 15th big league season into short right center field. Everybody getting out of the way of Puig. Good thinking. Well, Anderson has retired the last 5 batters and will go to the 5th. Arizona 3-1. One Arizona. You know, no team has more Cy Young Award winners than the Dodgers, and this season we're celebrating with a Cy Young Pin Collectors Series presented by 76. Pick up the first pin featuring the great Don Newcomb on Monday, April the 13th. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions. That'll be this Monday. The Mariners will be in town. Juan Uribe leading it off. Bounced to short in his first at-bat. Juan just 1 for 10 as the season begins. Jock Peterson on deck, and then Brett Anderson. Meanwhile, Chase Anderson has done the job. Missing outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Anderson now at 69 pitches, 40 for strikes. Giving up a run and 2 base hits. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's that pattern again. Miss with the fastball, come back in a fastball count with the off-speed pitch. Two and one.
The Dodgers, as we mentioned, have had great success here at Chase Field. Won 8 of 10 last year, 15-4 against the Diamondbacks. No team had a better record against another team than the Dodgers against Arizona last year. 3-1. Dating back to the middle of July 2013, last 17 games here at Chase Field, Dodgers are 13-4. Hard ground ball, base hit into left field. So Uribe's aboard with his 2nd hit of the season.
Ball coming in on the inner half. They were looking for it away. Right now for me, Juan Uribe, that front shoulder is flying open a little bit too quickly. But when the ball's in, you're able to catch up to it. But the balls that are away or the off speed, we see him kind of swinging through or fouling off. So once you get those base hits like that, get some confidence, and you start feeling about staying in there longer and just driving through. Nice hit for Juan.
Jock Peterson bounced to 2nd in his first at bat. 2 for his first 11. The shortstop, Nick Ahmed, is shaded way towards second base. The outfield is straight away. And there's a bit of room on the right side of the infield, what with Goldschmidt holding Uribe at first. 2-0.
Good take right there from a young hitter. Not hitting at a very high average right now. Probably feeling a little anxious about trying to get some hits in a hitter's count. And wanted to swing, but was able to hold up.
To the right side, and there was Goldschmidt, who was holding Uribe. And that allowed the ball to go into right. And Juan goes to 3rd.
Didn't hit it hard as he wanted to, but he got it in the right place, Nomar.
Sometimes you just need good aim, good placement. But he's bringing the hands in, getting out in front of that ball. And even though Goldschmidt was playing off the bag a little bit, it was just great placement, good hustle by Juan Uribe, recognizing that. And that's the way he gets to 3rd, is also recognizing where the right fielder was playing prior to that ball being hit and anticipating going all the way to 3rd base.
And who the right fielder is. Trumbo has, at best, an average arm. So you can run with a little impunity.
Well, here's the interesting situation that you're in a sacrifice situation with Brett Anderson up there, but the Dodgers also could put on a safety squeeze. But I think they really will go with a straight sacrifice, trying to get Jock to 2nd base.
Tuffy Gozwich is flashing signals to the infield, where he will throw if it should come to that. 1st and 3rd, Uribe leading off 3rd. Anderson squares to bunt, and he punts it nicely up the 3rd base line. Uribe stays put.
That was a great bunt by Brett Anderson there. One to move over the runner, but watch third base. Watch third base and watch Uribe. Nobody's covering third. He's following it. As soon as this ball's going, he can just take off to home right there and possibly score right there. He was a bit hesitant. Good job. He was reading it. No one's there. And then he ends up just going back being safe. I mean, it's easy for us to say he could have scored right there. I think he should have gone home right there and would have made it easy. But if you're not sure, at least stay there, make sure you're safe, and trust the next guys to knock you in.
Jimmy Rollins, 0 for 2. Second and third. Chip Hale elects to play the infield back. He'll surrender a run for an out as Rollins takes a strike. It's 0-1. Jimmy's fly to left, struck out swinging. A base hit by Rollins. And Peterson with great speed at second. Dodgers could tie the game. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jimmy Rollins with a home run. 4 runs batted in, a double and a triple. Anderson's next pitch will be his 80th. One ball, 2 strikes to Jimmy Rollins.
As aggressive as Juan Uribe was with his secondary lead, and as far as he followed Aaron Hill down, it was very surprising that he didn't continue on. Paul Goldschmidt gave him one little deke, like he was going to run in there behind him, and that's what froze him. Right at the moment of truth when he was going to go, Goldschmidt kept his break going towards third, and it just froze Juan right at the moment.
1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Because he took that lead, he read it, he did everything right. Perfect to go, okay, as soon as the ball's thrown, just walk right into home. But there was something in the back of his head that just said, I'm
right when he was about to
scared.
decide, Goldschmidt continued to break towards third like he was going behind him, and that's what froze him.
2-2 to Rollins.
Jimmy.
Now you're talking about Gosewich back there behind home plate. This little right there.
Right there.
That
See
little,
Goldschmidt
start
coming in behind him.
Yeah, Goldschmidt going over there.
Just angled and started going towards third, and that's what right when Juan froze.
Puig on deck. The outfield is straight away. Inciarte, Pollock, and Trumbo from left to right. Rollins with a shot to right center field. That is well hit. One hop off the wall. Uribe scores. Peterson scores. Rollins is at second with a double. The Dodgers have tied the Diamondbacks at 3.
No hesitation from Juan Uribe on that ball or Jacques Peterson. Jimmy Rollins just spanks this ball into the right center gap. Out over the plate, a 2-seamer that didn't sink that much. He barrels up off the D-back sign. And that'll drive into any time with men on second and third.
Well, that's exactly what we were talking about. You said Juan Uribe had that opportunity to score on that, but if there was any doubt in your head, make sure you're safe, as he did, because you have to trust the other guys in the lineup, especially the top of your lineup, is coming up to bat to knock you in, and Jimmy Rollins comes through.
Rollins now with 6 runs batted in on the season. The only Dodger with more is Adrian Gonzalez, who's on deck. So it's a brand new ball game for Brett Anderson. Puig is 0 for 2. He struck out swinging, and he's flied to center. So Rollins the lead run at second base with 1 out. 0-1 to Yasiel Puig.
You know a batter is slightly lost or real lost when they're check swinging on the first pitch of an at-bat that's right down the middle. That's just too much thinking.
It is right in his head. You were talking about him looking into the dugout even in his last at-bat. It's like he's going, okay, if he's already looking for something even before he's swinging, like am I drifting or my hands getting away from my body, whatever it is, he's just not comfortable right now.
Oh, he's trying to blindside Rollins.
It's that fine balance between that raw, great talent that Yasiel has, and now playing in a league where there's no getting called up. There's no new opponent. These are the same guys that you develop relationship with, and they will accentuate your weaknesses, and you have to be on top of it and know how to make your own adjustments.
And that's the key. Know how to make your own and recognizing those.
And he's still building his toolbox. Even though he hit his toolbox right there in the head.
In this at bat, I've seen him hit his left shoulder, his right quad, his left quad, his right shoulder. Now his head. He did the other ones with his bat. So I'm glad he did himself with the head with the bat.
The 1-1 to Puig. 1-2.
His bat speed and his strength, he should never be late on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle. And that just tells you he's got some deep processing going on. Nomar, you can't think that much and hit, can you?
No, you got to do your work. And then once you step in the box as the game starts, all that thinking goes out the window. And you just have to focus on the ball and squaring it up.
Yogi Berra famously said after hitting a game-winning home run back when the term walk-off home run didn't exist, Yogi, what were you thinking at the plate? And Yogi said, you can't think and hit at the same time. See the ball, hit the ball. The 1-2 to Puig, who's thinking too much. That's a 6th strikeout for Anderson in the 2nd out of the 5th.
Well, it comes with an off-speed pitch. Yasiel out in front. His timing is off. His swing is off. And you knew this was going to happen. If they get Yasiel out and you have a base open, an RBI situation, they're definitely going to walk one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball right now.
When fans boo, what do you expect the other team to do?
This is pretty routine right here.
I'm like, everybody be doing this right now in all of baseball, right?
You know what? With this intentional walk, he has reached base in each of his last 10 plate appearances. You can't do that playing Stratomatic. So now Howie Kendrick. As we were talking earlier, he is the new age cleanup hitter.
Well, I'll tell you, this is also one of those times, too, as a hitter, when you see the guy in front of you getting intentionally walked, where you really kind of take it personally and say, what, you think I'm an easy out and you think you can get me out, where you want to come through even that much more and drive the runs in.
Howie has walked and bounced into a double play, swings and misses. It's 0-1.
Chris Anderson has an outstanding changeup tonight. Not necessarily always taking a lot of speed off. It's 81 miles an hour. It's not a tremendous amount off, but it has great movement, and he's got great arm action with it.
Nothing in 2 to Howie Kendrick.
He's moving from 90 miles an hour to 81 miles an hour.
That's Andrew Chafin. Chase Anderson is at 93 pitches. And he is due to lead off in the bottom of the 5th. This could well be his last batter.
That's what you brought up earlier about the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be looking for starters, can go deeper into the game.
And that presumably is part of a game plan when any team is facing Arizona. Be selective, take as many pitches as you can. These guys are not expected to hang around long. Get to the bullpen. And then beat them over the head. Diamondbacks bullpen ERA last year was 3.92. Ranking 13th in the National League. Dodgers bullpen last year, frankly, wasn't a whole lot better. A 3.80 ERA.
Well, Chris Anderson has really shown that he is not trying to get anybody out inside. I think Howie Kendrick can look out over the plate, and if he happens to throw a fastball in the inside corner for an out, you just tip your hat.
Big rip by Kendrick.
They were trying to get it in there, but he got it up and down the middle. Right about now, Anderson's, the most of his confidence is pitching away and with off-speed stuff. If he really wants to come in his 97th pitch with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball in the inning and a half, I think Howie can fight it off.
Two balls and two strikes.
A lot harder to get somebody to chase out there, Nomar, when they're looking for it out there.
Well, that tells you a lot about Howie Kendrick as a hitter. Recognizing it, recognizing the pattern, and being patient.
A career .292 hitter, a model of consistency, Howie Kendrick. With Rollins and Gonzalez at second and first. They're just going to wear out Anderson.
That was a good miss for Chris Anderson, because he throws that down where he wanted it. I think Howie kills it. He just happened to get underneath it a little bit and leave it up.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Well, the runners are going to be running.
Good take by Howie Kendrick there. That was a borderline pitch, tough with 2 strikes, but recognizing it, that was off the plate.
So Rollins and Gonzalez will get the head start on 3-2. Into right field, Trumbo is there. That'll end the inning. But the Dodgers come up with a couple of runs on Jimmy Rollins, second double of the year. He's knocked in 6 on the season. And the Dodgers and Diamondbacks all even after 4.5. All even as we go to the bottom half of the 5th. The Dodgers with 5 hits, the Diamondbacks with 4. Chase Anderson's night is done after a 32-pitch 5th inning. So he is going to be pinch hit for. That's Jordan Pacheco. And then A.J. Pollock and Ender Inciarte against Brett Anderson, who delivers a strike to Pacheco, and it's 0-1. A solo home run for Yasmani Grandal. A 2-run double for Jimmy Rollins. And a 3-run home run for Paul Goldschmidt. That's how we're at this 3-3 tie with a 0-2 count to Pacheco.
Well, this is the shutdown inning for Brett Anderson. You come back, you get that score tied. You've got the lower pitch count than the other guy. Your team just picked you up, and now it's for your time to get back out on the hill and throw up a goose egg.
His team and himself. I mean, he did a good job that last inning with that sacrifice bunt.
Pacheco on 0-2. A.J. Pollock is on deck. Pacheco came up with the Rockies. Played 47 games with the D-backs last year. And he went around. Yep. He's been struck out. Punched out by Ted Barrett. When we say punched out by Ted Barrett, we mean it. Used to be a boxer.
Center field, A.J. Pollock.
This was just a good back foot breaking ball by Brett Anderson, hitting his spot as a hitter. Starts off in the strike zone, tough to lay off.
Now Pollock, who has singled in 2 at-bats, swings and misses, and it's 0-1. We have 2 of the biggest umpires in the game on the field tonight. Home plate umpire Chris Conroy, 6'4" and 230. Ted Barrett, the first base umpire who we mentioned earlier, used to be a prize fighter, about 6'5" and 230. So you don't want to mess with those guys. Into short center field, Jimmy Rollins. 2 out.
Left field, Ender Inciarte.
Ender Inciarte stepping in. 1 for 2 and a run scored. Goldschmidt, who's on deck, hit a 3-run home run in the 3rd off Anderson, the only blemish on Anderson's record to this point. So what have you seen, Oral, so far in Brett Anderson tonight?
I think early in the game he was hyped up, but he got away with a lot of different things. A lot of fly balls to right field that probably should have been more ground balls to second base if he was down where he wanted to live. I think he then settled in and then just had a couple of seeing eye ground balls on breaking balls, maybe got into a pattern of throwing a few too many breaking balls, and then the first pitch fastball to Goldschmidt burned him.
Rollins still has time to get Inciarte as the ball deflects off the glove of Anderson, and a 1-2-3 inning for Brett Anderson, who has retired 8 batters in a row. D-backs in this 3-3 tie. Left-hander Andrew Chafin, 6'2", 2 1/4. He's an Ohio native. Pitched at Kent State, and he, like pretty near everybody else in this game, had Tommy John surgery, and that was back in 2010. First round pick for the D-backs in 2010, and Grandal leading it off. And in his last at-bat in the fourth of Chase Anderson. Grandal's first home run, first base hit as a Dodger. Got the Dodgers on the board at 3-1, and then Rollins with a double, knocking in 2, evened the score as Grandal bounces to second to begin the sixth. In celebration of the great Jackie Robinson, join the Dodgers on Wednesday, April 15th, when they meet the Seattle Mariners at 7:10. First 40,000 fans in attendance will receive an adult Jackie Robinson replica jersey presented by Bank of America. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Carl Crawford stepping in. Crawford is 0 for 2. Chafin made 3 starts last year for Arizona. Pitched at AA and AAA most of last season, where he was a combined 9 and 7. Quickly ahead, 0-2 to Crawford. Uribe on deck. At 92, gets it up there with a bit of gusto. Chafin stands well on the third base side of the rubber. Easy play at second for Owens. What are the pluses and minuses standing on one side of the rubber or the other as a pitcher and watching it as a hitter?
Well, as a pitcher, you're trying to create some angles on certain hitters. Maybe the way your ball breaks, your two-seamer, and you're trying to catch the corner, make it look like a strike, end up a ball. Maybe you're trying to create an angle for your breaking ball because that's one of your out pitches, create some deception to the hitter.
And for a hitter, it just really depends on the release point. As they're trying to create that angle, sometimes where they stand, it really doesn't bother you because you're able to recognize the release point. It's still in the area. And sometimes when they have a release point really far from their body, it really creates a tougher angle and that deception that Oral talked about, and also just tough to really read out of their hand.
No balls, 2 strikes to Uribe, who's down on strikes. And Chafin retires the Dodgers easily in the 6th. Paul Goldschmidt will lead it off for the D-backs in the bottom of the 6th against Brett Anderson in this 3-3 game. we're tied at 3.
The 27th-year-old. You see, looking at 7th year in the big leagues. In 09 there, when he broke in with Oakland, he was fantastic, but 19 starts in the last 3 seasons. Usually over 6 seasons, you're talking about at least 180 starts. He only has 81 to this point in his career. Looking to not only be healthy, but to show some of this elite stuff that comes out of his mound and be consistent and be one of the better pitchers in baseball.
Made 30 starts with Oakland in that rookie season, but only 51 over the next 5 years. Goldschmidt, a ball and a strike. Goldschmidt 2 for 2, a 3-run home run. His first home run, his first 3 RBIs of the season in his last at-bat. And he golfs that to right, and there's Puig.
Watching Brett Anderson today, and I was looking in 09 when he got called up. I was on that team in Oakland with him. But you liked playing behind him because of how quickly he worked. So you're always ready on the infield because of that pace. So you knew that he was going to grab the ball and be ready. And the other thing about him is you look at his miles per hour, you look and he throws in the low 90s, that 89, 90, 91 range. But the ball gets on you. There's some guys that even though the gun says 90, as a hitter, you're going, it seems a lot harder than that. Just the way it gets on him, and then his breaking ball as well, which adds to that speed. So if he's on and he's staying down in the zone, it's very tough to square him up.
Now that sneaky fast is he does a good job getting down the hill, so he gets close to the hitter before he releases the ball. And in doing that, the closer you get to the hitter, for every 1 foot you get closer to the hitter, it's 3-mile-an-hour reaction time on the hitter. So the guys that are sneaky fast are the guys that are getting down the hill because their relative velocity to your eyes is quicker than what the radar gun says. The guys that throw from over the rubber and don't really get down the hill, but they're throwing 95, and you go, I see him real easy. He doesn't even feel like 95. It's because they're throwing actually the ball from a farther distance.
0-2 to Mark Trumbo with 1 out of the bottom of the 6th.
The other thing is about deception, too, Nomar. You know the guys that are hard to pick up compared to the guys that are easy to pick up. A guy easy to pick up throwing 95, you go, it's not that big a deal. But Brett does a good job taking his whole leverage. See that getting down there and out over his front leg? Look at that kick leg actually come all the way around the back, the landing leg.
You know who does that as well and really and I'm comparing that as his release point and getting down there. Cliff Lee does that very well. He's one of those that really get out on that front foot a lot, and when he releases it, and every pitch out of his is the same release point and tough to pick up.
Feels like he's right on top of it.
Yes.
Trumbo 0 for 2. Uribe with a throwing error. Boy, you don't see that often. That ball was smoked. And it was hit so hard that Uribe actually probably didn't have to throw it as hard as he had to, or felt like he had to.
If this ball deflects off his glove, it's a hit. But because he makes a great play, now he's got an opportunity to make an error on the throw, and that's what he does. He leaves it a little too high.
And what causes that is, he makes an unbelievable play. I mean, I when he made that, I was just kind of thinking, like, wow. And when you get that, and it kind of took him back because it was hit so hard. And when he gets up, he's almost on that back foot just a little bit too much. So that front shoulder's kind of pointing up into the air. And you're, as a player, you're like, I got to really battle with my body to try to get on top because you're trying to hurry the throw too because a runner's getting down to first base. And when he releases it, it just kind of sails on him.
Finished second in the Gold Glove balloting at third base each of the last 2 years. So the D-backs now with a lead run at second base with 1 out. Aaron Hill is 0 for 2.
When you make your fielding plays down there at shortstop or third base, anywhere in the infield, you take that crow hop. And that kind of gets you time to get your balance, get your shoulders back to level. But on that play, he's so deep in the ball, he's so there, he knows he needs to hurry up. He can't get into that perfect throwing position.
And because the way the ball was hit, the way it took him, the momentum of that ball hit so hard, and the way he had to glove it, it almost took him back, which gets you out of that position that you'd like to be in to make a good throw.
Made only 6 errors all last year. We were talking about it before the game. What a joy it is to watch him take fielding practice before a game. That's Yimi Garcia warming in the Dodger pen. Has such quick hands. Now in his 5th season with the Dodgers, Uribe.
It's amazing to watch different fielders and their technique, because some guys play the infield with their feet, some guys play their infield with their throwing arm, some guys do it with their hands.
And Juan Uribe over there at third base, and you're thinking, okay, well, Juan, he isn't the fastest guy out there on the bases. You're like, how does he have good feet? He has unbelievable feet. He's got such quick feet for that first step reaction, and then his hands with it are just so soft and quick as well.
Anderson takes the sure out. Trumbo goes to third. There's 2 out. And Chris Owings is coming up.
The guy I think about at third base that plays third base with his throwing arm is Adrian Beltre. Makes the play in any position and then just wings it right from his hip.
And throws the ball from any position. Just any arm slot, where it's from his hip, whether it's 3/4, on top, it doesn't matter, and it's a bullet.
He can play third base with his arm. I'll go catch the ball, and then my arm will get it done.
Owings is 0 for 2, hitless in 9 appearances so far this spring. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
And Juan plays it with his feet. He gets to the balls with his feet, and then he tries to get himself quickly in position to throw the ball with his feet.
And it was the quickest pair of hands.
Very soft, quick hands.
See, one can have quick hands. And sometimes when you're quick, you have a tendency to be a little stiff because you're getting them so fast and getting them into position. But then to be quick and then to be soft and to just really, it's almost like where you almost have your wrist just kind of just limp a little bit, and trust that your hand's going to be in the right spot and your hand's going to be able to cradle that and soften the ball as it's coming in there.
You know, on that big wide body, he came up as a shortstop in Colorado.
And that ball almost made it back to the strike zone.
Yeah, it did.
Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out.
Big for the psyche of Brett Anderson between starts, going into his 2nd start. Coming out of his 1st start in his Dodger debut here tonight with a 3-3 tie. Possibility of coming in and getting the lead before probably the bullpen's going to come in. This is a big out for the next 4 days for him getting into the next start.
Well, he's due to bat 2nd in the 7th. Well, mission accomplished. Grandal will throw to first to complete the strikeout. That's the 7th strikeout for Anderson. clubhouse. Join Alana Rizzo. She goes one-on-one with Don Mattingly to get the inside scoop. Don't miss Dodgers Clubhouse Monday at 5 right here on Sportsnet LA. So Peterson will lead it off. Scott Van Slyke in the on-deck circle. He will bat for Brett Anderson. And then Jimmy Rollins. Tied at 3 as we begin the 7th. And Andrew Chafin in his second inning of relief. Peterson, 1 for 2 and a run scored. Takes a strike, gets 0-1. So Brett Anderson, his first Dodger start, very solid. Peterson slices it foul and out of play.
Charlie, you said mission accomplished when he struck out his last hitter, and to get in the dugout with a 0 and to also have the next 4 days where he doesn't have to answer real negative questions about his outing, can just get into his year. And Nomar, that ground ball in the hole for Jacques his last about helps his psyche. Young player looking to kind of show that he belongs up here.
Whenever you feel like you're struggling or you just don't feel comfortable in the box, you're not looking necessarily just to square. You just want to hit.
Yeah.
And you don't care how it comes, whether it's the ground ball with eyes, whether it's a swinging bunt, it's a line drive, whatever it is, it's a hit. And hitting is all about confidence.
And not to evaluate the scrum around a player after the game, but the scrum's a lot different when you're 1 for 3, than when you're 0 for 4. And you could tell those guys that are 0 for 4, no, I feel good, I'm hitting the ball hard, but they still want to know, are you worried?
Ahmed. 1 gone.
Any way you can keep the pressure off a young guy of just worried about his day and keeping him in his habits and not having to worry about dealing with the media and the negative.
Well, Scott Van Slyke is going to pinch hit for Brett Anderson. The Dodger bullpen is ready to go, and Alana Rizzo has some stories about it.
Well, guys, you saw rookie right-hander Yimi Garcia warming up earlier when Brett Anderson was still on the mound. Obviously, with Van Slyke in the box, Brett Anderson is done for the day. I talked to Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, earlier about the bullpen, who's available and who's not. With the off day yesterday and the fact it's only game 4, everybody with the exception of Pedro Baez is fair game. They're going to be cautious with him because he's had 2 appearances so far, pitched 2 in the 3rd innings. They're staying away from him, but everybody else is available.
There is a strike to Van Slyke, 1-1. We were talking earlier that because of the bullpen, how it is shaping up, and there is no firm closer. I guess Hatcher, if there's going to be a title of fix, is the closest thing to it. So these are now chess games for Don Mattingly and Tim Wallach, and how to mix and match. And of course, Rick Honeycutt. That's John Valentin behind Wally and Don. And who can go and how long and what days back to back or not. These are young fellas. And in some, there's Honey.
Yeah, the chess pieces are put together with matchups and who will do best against whom.
Chafin on 2-2, and Van Slyke chops it to 3rd. Aaron Hill throws out Van Slyke, 2 out.
And that's slightly different. The chess pieces when you're talking about a bona fide 8th inning setup guy, and it doesn't matter where we are in the order, that guy pitches the 8th when we're ahead. And a bona fide closer, that guy pitches the 9th when it's 3 runs or less. But the chess pieces when nobody has a title are really about who are we, where are we in the lineup, who's coming up, what's the score, what area of the field do I need my out, do I need a strikeout? That's where you go.
Well, when you have a 7th inning guy and an 8th inning guy and then a closer, that's checkers. Now you got to play chess, mixing and matching, and who they're going to be facing in what inning and under what circumstance.
That's a great example.
Rollins is 1 for 3. A double's knocked in 2. We're tied at 3 with 2 out in the 7th. And Jimmy is thrown out by Chafin. Quick feet by the Diamondback pitcher. 7th inning stretch. Dodgers and D-backs are tied at 3. As we head to the other half of the 7th inning stretch, it's time for a look at the DraftKings game summary. Adrian Gonzalez has been on base in each of his last 10 at-bats. Tonight, Gonzalez, a meager single and 2 walks. Jimmy Rollins knocks in 2, and Goldschmidt's 3-run home run in the 3rd inning off Brett Anderson, who was very good tonight. The runs for the D-backs and a new pitcher for the Dodgers, Yimi Garcia. You take a look at Adrian Gonzalez. Last 10 plate appearances, got on board somehow. Garcia, who was terrific in spring, has picked up where he has left off early going of the regular season. In spring, 11 1/3 innings, 1 earned run, and opponents hit 128 against him. Gozwich leads off for the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 7th. Nothing in 1. Gozwich walked in his first at-bat, lined to short in his second at-bat. So he and Gerald Laird are sharing the catching duties in Arizona, with Montero shipped off to Chicago. Into left, Crawford coming in. Yimi Garcia continues to be very interesting. 6'1", 210 out of the Dominican Republic. Last year, 47 appearances at Albuquerque and a 3.10 ERA, all out of the bullpen. Made 8 relief appearances down the stretch for the Dodgers. And he appears to be the genuine article. Nick Ahmed takes a breaking ball for a strike. What do you like about him, Oral?
I love his aggressiveness. I love the movement on the fastball and the fact that he understands when to go up in the strike zone and when to stay down in the strike zone. You look at that right there. Yasmani didn't need to move the target at all. Sat down there right on the outer half low, and he just dotted that fastball out there. Yasmani's glove. Very little movement for the catcher to have to catch that ball.
From an 81-mile-an-hour breaking ball to a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, then a fastball at 93 upstairs. Good morning, good afternoon, and bonsoir.
And there's the example of he knows when to stay down and when to go up, and he did it right there on cue. The fastball low and away, and now knows I got to go up. Look where Yasmani goes, and again, very little movement to have to catch that ball because he's so accurate.
And as a hitter, it looks like he has that late life to his fastball, like he picks up another gear on its way to the plate.
Andrew Chafin is batting for himself.
And that one right there, Nomar, we talked about that pregame, you and I, when we drove over here on the bus. He missed his target, but there was so much life on it. That ball ran all the way across the plate. Who's going to hit it?
Interesting decision by Chip Hale to let the pitcher bat for himself. 3-3, 2 out, bottom of the 7th. Says a couple of things. One, he may not be such a bad hitter. B, all right, we'll sacrifice an out. C, we'd rather have Chafin come out for a 3rd inning than anybody else in the bullpen.
Definitely to protect the bullpen.
Yep.
Well, Griffin or Garcia strikes out Chafin, and that ends the inning. So strikes out 2. We head to the 8th, tied at 3. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. And by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Use promo code BLUECREW for free entry. So the Dodgers still looking to get the ball out of the infield against the lefty Andrew Chafin, beginning his 3rd inning of relief. And he'll be facing the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Puig, Gonzalez, and Kendrick. Puig continues to struggle, 0 for 3, 1 for his first 15. Has struck out twice tonight and flied to center. So Chafin batted for himself in the bottom of the 7th, and Puig fouls it off to the right. It's 0-1.
Yeah, over their last series against San Francisco, their opening series, the Diamondbacks, the bullpen got a lot of work. The starters, or 3 starters, didn't really go deep into the game. So I think Chip Hale's thinking, well, if I can get more out of Chafin to just kind of give them a little bit of a rest.
And he's been successful.
Yep.
So Mark McGwire and his young, powerful protege, Yasiel Puig. Puig with 1 hit, a double, and an RBI this year. The 0-2 inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good crowd on hand for this Friday night. 27,404. And as usual, well populated by Dodger fans. Two and 2 to Puig.
It's a good pitch right there. by Chafin. Good job by Puig to lay off of it. Not an easy pitch to lay off, especially where that pitch started and kind of curved through the plate.
It just looks like he's looking for some rhythm in the batter's box. He doesn't know where his trigger is or really have a rhythm to any of his movements yet.
That last pitch where I said it was a good take because it was a good pitch, he was mad at himself because he was drifting a little bit.
Broken bat liner dropped at second base. Owings picks it up, still has time to throw out Puig. 1 out.
First baseman, Gonzalez.
He gets that one off the end of the bat, and you see his bat breaking there. Still hustling down the line. You know, like you said, in between pitches, you saw his frustration. And he's definitely frustrated going back to the dugout.
That's not a typo. Gonzalez is hitting 786. 5 home runs, 7 runs batted in, and he has been on base each of his last 10 plate appearances. Tonight, a single and 2 walks. D-backs put the shift on. Ahmed maybe 3 or 4 steps to the third base side of second at short. As Gonzalez falls behind 0-1.
Well, Gonzalez is thinking right there. He's like, I have one pitch. If I get one pitch to try to just give us the lead right here, I'm going to swing for it. And he got the fastball. That's one where you're going, okay, I just got that fastball. That was it. It was just out over the plate. It was on the outer half. If that pitch was on the inner half or down the middle, he hits that out of right field.
Coming into the game tonight, Adrian Gonzalez with the 5 home runs in 3 games. No team had more home runs in Major League Baseball than Adrian Gonzalez. None of them. Except the Dodgers, who had 7. 5, of course, were his. .786. Now Ahmed is on the first base side of second, so 3 on the right side of the infield. The count is 3-1. Is he going to get on base 11 consecutive plate appearances?
I hope so.
Diving play by Hill. So that's the only way you're going to get Adrian Gonzalez this day, by robbing him.
It goes in your scorebook as a 5-3, but it was played by the third baseman up the middle in the shortstop position. And that's where the shift worked. The last fielder on the left side got it.
That was the Morongo Casino Resort and Spa slow-mo cam. And Kendrick to the right side. And Chafin has been perfect through 3 innings of relief. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers and D-backs remain tied at 3. We'll take a look at the Dodger calendar, brought to you by 76. Back with you tomorrow at 5. First pitch at 5:10. Kershaw against Archie Bradley. Sunday at 1:10. Zach Greinke and Josh Colmenter. And then the Dodgers head right back home, a 3-game series with the Seattle Mariners. Dodgers saw them a few times in spring, and certainly one of the teams to beat over there in the American League. A vastly improved Mariner team. As Yimi Garcia begins his second inning of relief. A.J. Pollock, Ender Inciarte, and Paul Goldschmidt. Dodger bullpen for the moment is quiet. Arizona has some bullpen activity. Pollock tonight is 1 for 3. Scored a run and takes a strike, 0-1. We're talking about Yimi Garcia and how he looks like a genuine article. He's thrown 9 pitches, 9 strikes.
And he is locked in. I think he's missed the target once, and that ball that he missed with had about 3.5 feet of movement. That. Low and away for a strike, up and in for a strike.
And he's got a little bit of a tail to boot.
He could throw anything right now. Just hit your target.
Wants it upstairs. Got it upstairs. Man, 94. 3 strikeouts in a row for Garcia. He has retired all 4 batters he has faced, and he has thrown nothing but strikes.
Adrian Gonzalez is hitting like he's in a video game. Well, Yimi Garcia is pitching like he's in a video game. You just don't put the dot somewhere and just hit it like that as a human being. You have to be a computer.
With the velocity, with the movement, yeah.
Now Inciarte, 1 for 3. Goldschmidt on deck. And a fly ball to center field. Jock Peterson. 2 out.
First baseman, Goldschmidt.
Well, you've shown that you've thrown strikes. Every pitch you've thrown since you've been in the game has been a strike. And you've got a first pitch fastball hitter that hit a 3-run job off your starter. You'd be very careful with this pitch right here. It really probably should be his first ball he throws.
Goldschmidt's 3-run home run has provided the only runs of the game for the D-backs. We're tied at 3 with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. Kike Hernandez and Austin Barnes hit home runs tonight. Oklahoma City wins their first game 6-5 in OKC. Barnes and Hernandez both came over in the deal with the Marlins. It's Dan Herron and D. Gordon down to Miami. Carlos Frias got the win. Goldschmidt 2 out of 3 tonight. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
A lot of times with second and third. Here we're going back to the 3rd inning home run. This first pitch fastball from Brett Anderson up and out over the plate. After a couple of breaking balls that were seeing eye ground balls, Goldschmidt made him pay. And there's the Diamondbacks 3 runs.
1 and 2.
Second and third, 1 out, Charlie. You pitch around somebody. Man on third, maybe set up a double play. You pitch around somebody. 3-3 tie, Goldschmidt at the plate in this lineup. You're pitching around him, even though there's 2 out, nobody on. It's every pitch in your mind for this at bat for me is like the count is 0-2. I am not giving in. Every pitch is a pitcher's pitch. I don't care what the reality of the count is. The situation is this guy is not beating me in this lineup.
And he has made those pitches thus far.
From the very first pitch of the at bat to right now, he has pitched him perfectly. That was probably his worst pitch. That he allowed him to barrel it up, and he's got a 2-2 count. He can double up in there, or he can go slider, the 1-0 pitch slider that he went low and away with and caught the edge. Go right there.
The 24-year-old Garcia deals. Did he go around? No, says Ted Barrett. Garcia would beg to differ.
You be the umpire.
Oh, that was close.
You can go back, blowing away, and make sure it's a ball, or you can come inside with the fastball. Looks like they're going breaking ball away.
The breaking ball up. And Goldschmidt is aboard with the 2-out single to center, his third hit of the night. He has 3 of the 5 Arizona hits.
First ball that he throws of the evening right here. Working off the fastball away. Breaking ball in the outer half, catches strike 1-1. Now a breaking ball that he gets too much to the plate, but now he pitches him outstanding. I'm going to go pitch after pitch after pitch, and I'm going to try and get you out. And then a breaking ball, 3-2 after a 2-2. Good breaking ball, check swing. Just got it up a little bit too much.
I tell you,
Trumbo takes a strike.
I got to give a lot of credit to Goldschmidt as well, because he was pitched so well by Yimi Garcia. He was hitting his spots as well. He was coming in, he was going away, and he was still able to get a good breaking ball there away after you were coming, pounding them in and staying with it and getting that base hit up the middle.
Trumbo 0 for 3. And 2 for 15 so far this season.
This is where a young pitcher, though, you forget about him at first base. You concentrate on the hitter. The game is at the plate. You just make sure he stops, and then you make a quality pitch to the hitter at the plate.
Aaron Hill on deck, 2 out. 0-2 to Mark Trumbo. Yimi Garcia signed with the Dodgers, a non-drafted free agent. In other words, they discovered him in the Dominican in 2009. He has worked his way up through the system. Showed real signs last year, had a great spring, and on 0-2, he strikes out Trumbo swinging. He faces 7 batters in 2 innings and strikes out 4 of them. Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Addison Reed had a rugged year last year and is first with the Diamondbacks, of what much was expected and didn't quite work out that way. Hard-throwing right-hander, ex to the White Sox. Will be facing Yasmani Grandal. We are tied 3-3 in the 9th. Grandal, a home run and 3 at-bats. Takes high and away, 1 ball and no strikes. So 2 young relief pitchers. Andrew Chafin goes 3 innings perfectly and struck out 1. Yimi Garcia, 2 innings, no runs and a hit and 4 strikeouts. Grandal fouls it. It's 1-1. Dodgers with bullpen activity. Garcia 23 pitches, 20 for strikes. Crawford on deck, Uribe to follow. Reed delivers. 1-2. Dodgers 15-4 against the Diamondbacks last year. Grandal strikes out. Goes which completes it. So Addison Reed, he's 26. Was traded from the White Sox for infielder Matt Davidson in the winter of 13. Diamondbacks had envisioned him as a potential closer. Crawford fouls it off. Carl is 0 for 3. Tomorrow at 5, Kershaw makes his second start of the year. Archie Bradley, a highly prized prospect, goes for the D-backs. 1-1 to Crawford. Carl 4 for 13, 308. Giants and Padres scoreless in the 7th inning in San Diego.
That little slider right there at 85 miles an hour, if they bring that inside, that's the kind of ball that Carl likes in that low and in sweet spot. They're living away right now knowing that Carl does like that ball against righties low and in, guys that live down there.
Two and 2 to Carl Crawford with 1 out in the 9th and a 3-3 game. Joel Peralta. Who recorded the save night before last against the Padres. Base hit for Crawford. A 1-out single to center. Carl is now 1 for 4.
Good job by Carl. You're talking about that one. That one's on the outer half, but he still stayed with it. It didn't come in where he likes it, but it was still down. He stayed on the ball. He didn't pull off of it and drove it right back up the middle. And for the Dodgers, good guy, good speed out there now. Look for him to possibly see if he can get a good read off Addison Reed to possibly steal a base. But other than that, if Juan Uribe can get a gap, ball hitting the gap, Carl has the speed to score all the way from first.
Crawford is 6'2" and 230. And in 2009 with the Rays, he stole 60 bases. Last year, he stole 23.
Addison Reed, their closer on the mound. Andre Ethier, you see he's got a little sweat going. He was down in the cage getting loose. They're not going to bring in a lefty for the 9-hole for the Dodgers. Addison Reed, the closer, will face the whole lineup. So Andre Ethier will get to face a right-hander on the mound if he gets the pinch hit.
Uribe 1 for 3. So Juan is 2 for 12. That's a $167.
Obviously, he's concerned about Carl over at first base. Maybe he can make a mistake on a pitch here to Juan Uribe.
Well, there's two ways that Don Mattingly can play the next few hitters. They can decide to pinch hit for Jacques Peterson with Andre Ethier, and then they double switch in the pitcher's hole and let Ethier go play center field. So they can go early if Uribe makes an out, or they can wait for the pitcher's hole and hit him there also.
One ball, no strikes to Uribe. Reed taking entirely too much time. So Uribe looking for his first extra base hit and his first run batted into the season as Crawford leads from first. Juan didn't want to do that.
That ball just kept running in on Juan. And what I was telling you, when you just don't feel comfortable at the plate, it seems like you get those check swings foul off. You get the ones that are close that you think are a ball called strikes.
Remember the good old days when the Yankees and Red Sox would play those 4-hour games?
I'm sure they're probably at 5 now.
They're tied at 3 in the top half of the 14th in the Bronx. And I bet you it's cold and damp. One and one from Addison Reed to Juan Uribe, who slimes a base hit into right field, and Crawford holds at second base.
That's the Juan Uribe we know and love right there, waiting on it and driving it to right field on a fastball. When he gets a breaking ball, he then ends up pulling it.
Well, this ball was hit on a line. I mean, it was crushed, and Crawford, I think because it was hit so hard, is the reason why Crawford ended up staying at second base. You say here, just kind of, he's looking at it and he recognizes that right when he gets to second, he already has the ball in his hand. And unless you know for sure that you're going to be able to get over there, especially when you know it's a tie ball game and you're already in scoring position, you know, you would think it's easy to say, man, with that speed, just get to third. And I would like to have seen him get to third with less than 2 outs. Definitely changes this whole at bat.
Let me ask a contrarian question. Should Crawford have been looking at Trumbo or Lorenzo Bundy, the third base coach?
Trumbo.
Okay.
Because if you can look at it, you don't need the third base coach unless it's hit really behind you down in the corner. But you see it. He turns. He can see it. He's looking. He knows his speed, and he knows when he's getting the ball.
Jock Peterson with a chance to be a hero. Takes inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
We wouldn't tell that to little leaguers or high schoolers or even college players, but a big leaguer needs to know that and can do it and make his own decision.
Crawford the lead run at second base. Uribe is at first. Peterson 1 for 3 and a run scored tonight, tied at 3 with 1 out in the 9th. A high fly ball to right field. Trumbo is at the wall. He'll make the catch. Tagging and going to third is Crawford. Peterson didn't miss it by much.
And that got in on Jock just a little bit. He didn't square that up on the barrel. Got it in on the hands just a little bit, but a good swing. Put a good swing on it, and it had some good carry, and just not enough.
Did he get it off the end of the bat, Nomar? Or did he get it?
It didn't sound like he squared it, did it?
Yeah, it didn't. It sounded bad.
Now Mike Harkey's going to go out and talk with Addison Reed as Ethier's going to come up and pinch hit for Yimi Garcia. So the entire infield and Mike Harkey have a brief meeting that comes to an end when home plate umpire Chris Conroy breaks it up.
Andre Ethier is healthy and swinging the bat really well. And you say, why? Well, spring training he was, and in batting practice, he is so locked in. It's the most power I've seen him have in years. Going oppo consistently over the wall in batting practice.
On his 33rd birthday, Andre Ethier, who grew up in Phoenix, went to Arizona State, made his major league debut here. Takes a ball low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. St. Mary's High School, Arizona State. And so the hometown kid has a chance to give the Dodgers the lead here in the 9th. Pinch hitting for Yimi Garcia. Crawford at third is the lead run. Goswich keeps it in front of him, 2-0.
Good save right there by Goswich. Got the go-ahead run there, 90 feet away, and he smothers that ball.
Watch this ball come back. It's a breaking ball. When it goes over, then when the spin hits the ground, the ball actually comes back the other way on catchers, and you have to know that by when you call that pitch, that if you go to block a fastball, it might scoot away from you, but you block a breaking ball, it comes back towards you.
First and third, 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1.
It's a good take right there. That's a pitcher's pitch, 2-0, and it wasn't in his area. Just let it go.
Crawford at third, Uribe at first. The 2-1 pitch from Addison Reed to Andre Ethier. 3-1. Jimmy Rollins on deck. Rollins knocked in 2 runs tonight.
And you take the same mentality you had on the 2-0 pitch. You look for a pitch that you know you can drive and handle.
Taking those 2 last fastballs on in the outer half tells me Andre's looking for something on the inner half.
To first base, and Goldschmidt will take it. And the Dodgers come up short. No runs, 2 hits. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Joel Peralta's coming in to face Aaron Hill, Chris Owings, and Tuffy Goswich. We're tied at 3. Peralta pitched an inning for the save on Wednesday night. 13 pitches, 11 strikes, 1 strikeout. Gave up 1 base hit. Came over from the Rays along with Adam Libator. That sent Juan Dominguez to the Rays. And Peralta, with the reputation, and Andrew Friedman knew full well, of course, Peralta worked for Andrew in Tampa. What a leader he is out in the bullpen, and so he's a high character guy. You can put him into nearly any situation, and the Dodgers are thrilled to have the veteran. Aaron Hill to lead it off. Hill hitless in 3 at-bats tonight. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. 3 runs, 6 hits for Arizona. Breaking ball outside.
We talked about Joel Peralta and his leadership capabilities. Some of that leadership was evident last night within walking distance of the hotel. Nomar, my wife, and I were having dinner, and all of a sudden, who walks in? All 7 guys in the bullpen for dinner to eat together.
Which, frankly, wasn't that way last year here. Not by any stretch.
Well, it looked like the brigade was being led by J.P. Howell and Joel. And I think J.P. picked up the check because they were all shaking his hand at the end. And jokingly, as they walked by our table, I thanked J.P. for ours, but it didn't work out that way.
You weren't joking. He just took it as you were joking.
It would have been nice if, but you know.
No, but it was definitely good to see those guys getting together.
Yep.
And that's what really brings you always hear about team chemistry, how important it is. And you and I both have played on teams where it's important, but the chemistry comes away from the field.
2-1 to Hill. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chris Owings on deck. Tuffy Gozwich to follow.
Yeah, I always believed that team chemistry was built with shared experiences away from the field. You know, that you watch all the NCAA pools in spring training and the Kershaw ping pong tournament and the guys going out to dinner as a bullpen. Those are the kind of things that then the next day you have something to talk about and continue to bond.
2-2. Aaron Hill came up with the Blue Jays in 2005 and came over here to Arizona middle of 2011. So the last thing in the world Peralta wants to do is walk the leadoff hitter in the 9th. Popped it up, right side. Kendrick taking charge. That's one thing about this Dodger infield. They are veterans, all know how to play the game, all know how to give way to the other. Adrian Gonzalez, you saw a second ago, 4-time Gold Glove winner. He didn't have a bad night the other night. Gets the Gold Glove and the Silver Slugger before the game, then hits 3 home runs. And if you're just joining us, Gonzalez finally made an out tonight. He'd been on base 10 consecutive plate appearances. Then he grounded out to end the inning in the 8th. Peralta misses outside, 1-1. So Chris Owings has flied to right, bounced to third, and has been struck out. Playing at second base these days. One ball and 2 strikes.
This is a high changeup. It looks like a split finger that doesn't split, but the change of speed's got him at 79 miles an hour. It's almost like the backup slider. It's just overhung. And it's just not where the hitter's expecting it, so you get that flinch swing where you miss.
As a pitcher, it comes out of your hand and you go, oh no. And as a hitter, you're like, how did I miss that? Mm-hmm. Like it didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Doesn't do what it's supposed to. Yeah. And you guys are so used to seeing that spin and the ball's going to drop and then the ball just hangs up there and you guys go underneath it.
Chris Owings out of South Carolina hit .261 last year. 6 home runs, 26 runs batted in. 3-3, 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the ninth.
There's the split that's actually split. That one, just the bottom dropped out of. Take the difference between the one that was high and hung at 79 and was a hanger that he swung through, and then that one that just goes straight down. All that arm speed now, boom.
See that, as a hitter, you were expecting that much movement on the one that was up. You're like, all right, that's going to fall right in the middle of the plate.
Looking ahead to the Dodger 10th, Rollins, Puig, and Gonzalez, top of the order. But first, Ghostwich takes low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Ghostwich has walked, lined to short, and flied to left. It's been tied at 3 since the 5th inning. Two balls and no strikes.
Peralta with a lot of deception to his delivery and really tries to stay closed as long as possible before he shows the ball to the hitter, and that's why at the end of his delivery you see him kind of fall to first base. He has to abruptly get out of the way.
2 balls and 1 strike.
With the big hand movement and then the big tuck, and then keeps everything behind him so the hitter can't see his arm swing, and then right at the very end he has to spin off line to clear enough to get the ball to home plate, and that's why you'll see him really look like he falls off to first base. It's that late spinning action to be able to deliver the ball forward.
Tuffy Ghostwich, born James Benjamin Ghostwich. Grew up in Illinois and went to school at Arizona State. Originally signed by the Phillies, an 11th round draft choice in 2005, then on to Toronto. And signed as a minor league free agent a couple of years ago here in Arizona. Down he goes. Peralta strikes out 2 of the 3 batters he faces. Retires the D-backs in order. It'll be Rollins and Puig and Gonzalez when we come back for the 10th. Diamondbacks' 4th pitcher of the night.
And Oliver's brought in. You say, why? Well, you turn Jimmy Rollins, a switch hitter, around to his right side. Probably a little less power there. Then Yasiel Puig, who is struggling, comes up, a left-on-right situation. But the third hitter of the inning is Adrian Gonzalez. You have the left-on-left situation. So if the inning starts to get away from Oliver, at least they have a left-hander on the mound to face Adrian instead of bringing in a righty and then having to go to Oliver when Adrian comes up. They're hoping Oliver can get through the whole inning by himself.
And if you're going off your numbers and go off what Oliver did last year righties hit only 184 versus him.
And if you're worried about Gonzalez and how he fares against Oliver Perez, 4 for 18 in his career. So them's the facts. Now we go out and play it. Rollins 1 out of 4, a double. He knocked in 2 in the 5th inning. That would tie the score, and it's been 3-3 ever since. So Jimmy steps in at 294. 5 for 17, second only on the club in RBIs to Adrian Gonzalez, who'll bat third this inning, and Rollins takes a strike, gets nothing in 1. Rollins a home run and 6 runs batted in, and has fared reasonably well against Oliver Perez.
Tells me Jimmy's looking for something on the inner half. He takes a fastball, first pitch near the middle, and now he took that fastball right out of his hand. He's looking for maybe that down and in breaking ball.
Two and one.
Notice Oliver Perez changing his windups to try to deceive the batter.
When Perez first came up, my goodness, in 2002, first with the Padres and the Pirates and back to the Padres, the expectation was he was going to be a terrific starter someday. Well, he had his ups and downs, and from the Pirates to the Mets, then to Seattle, Arizona. And when all was said and done, he's 65 and 79 in his career, an ERA of about 4.5, and has fared better in the last couple of years out of the bullpen. Into left field. Inciarte, 1 out. And here comes Yasiel Puig. Puig tonight struck out twice, flied to left and bounced to second. Puig has faced Perez 3 times, 0 for 3.
He might be hitting 063, but he's still dangerous every time he steps in the box.
Looking for his first home run of the season. Takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. Adrian Gonzalez, baseball's hottest hitter the first week of the season in the on-deck circle. 1 out, top of the 10th. Into center field, running in and over, and did not make the catch. And now Puig has to hurry back to first base. A.J. Pollock with a spectacular effort. Second base umpire Angel Hernandez give the umpire his props. Was right there.
Well, this ball was driven to right center. Great effort over there by Pollock. What was impressive is that he was still able to catch this ball even on the short hop. As that gets by him, Yasiel was hustling. Perez thought he had caught it and was wondering, but look, Yasiel was running hard, thinking, okay, he saw that. He's looking for that extra base. Good hustle by Yasiel on getting back there. And if that ball gets by Pollock, Yasiel is off to the races.
If that gets past Pollock, the Dodgers have a lead. Because Trumbo was nowhere near backing him up. So here's Adrian Gonzalez. Slumping. He's 1 for 2 tonight.
Dropped down from 786 to 733. You're right.
And of course, Puig with great speed at first. Gonzalez, 3, 6, and 3. Double play. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom half of the 10th. Still tied at 3 in Arizona. The 10th, but erased on the inning-ending 3-6-3 double play. Off the bat of Adrian Gonzalez. New pitcher for the Dodgers, J.P. Howell. 68 appearances last year. He was just lights out through August. In September, he just seemed to run out of gas. All in all, a terrific year, though, and opposing hitters hit under 200 against him all season. Nick Ahmed to lead it off here in the bottom half of the 10th. So Joel Peralta goes 1 inning, 3 batters, 2 strikeouts. And now Howell facing the right-handed hitting Ahmed. He delivers outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Ahmed tonight is 0 for 3. Howell, the 4th Dodger pitcher of the night. Falls behind 2-0. Cliff Pennington in the on-deck circle, the pinch hit for Perez. 2 balls and a strike to Ahmed, who is 1 for 8 this season. We were talking about it earlier, how these Dodger games, at least early in the season, have become chess games. And so the 3rd reliever out of the pen for Don Mattingly is J.P. Howell. Rollins at short throws out his counterpart by a step, 1 out. So they get the leadoff hitter. And here's Pennington. Well, both of these teams really had below par bullpens last year. But so far this year, Both teams have done very well. The Diamondbacks in 17 2/3 innings out of the bullpen, just 2 earned runs and 13 hits, 10 strikeouts, and 2 walks.
The only thing you don't like about that is the 17 2/3.
Yeah.
In 4 games, and we're not even completed the 4th game yet, but other than that, that's outstanding work from their pen.
On Wednesday night, Paco Rodriguez, Baez, Howell, and Peralta combined to go 4 innings and give up 2 base hits. And tonight, Garcia and Peralta, no runs, 1 hit in 2 innings, and Howell misses outside 2-1, and JP retires the first batter he faces. And that's Chris Hatcher. Two and 1 with 1 out in the 10th. 3-1.
That's the pitch right there that JP had all of last year, that changeup where he could just dot it, put it a little bit closer where the hitter would have to offer. That one just missed by a little too much.
A 1-out walk in the 10th. Last year, the Dodgers did not fare particularly well in extra innings. They were 6-12. Arizona was actually better than the Dodgers were in extra innings, 10-6. Here's A.J. Pollock, 1 for 4. The Dodgers, of course, beat Arizona 15 out of 19 a season ago. Nothing in 1 to A.J. Pollock. He's flied to right, single to center, popped to short, and has been struck out. Diamondbacks a year or so ago had to make a decision who's going to be their center fielder, Adam Eaton or A.J. Pollock. They stayed with Pollock. Eaton went on to Chicago and made a Jim Edmonds-like catch the other night.
Dodgers in a no doubles defense. That'll prevent the runner on first from scoring. Really deep in the outfield, guarding the lines on the infield.
One ball and 1 strike to Pollock. Played collegiately at Notre Dame. Ender Inciarte on deck. A ball, a strike, and an out in the bottom of the 10th.
J.P. Hall watching the man on first. He does not want to get to a 3-2 count, because I don't care if you're playing no doubles defense or not. When the runner on first is running, it's a lot easier to score on that ball that's just a tweener to outfielders.
Pennington, the runner at first, has stolen as many as 29 bases in a season in 2010 with Oakland. It gets past Grindal. The winning run is in scoring position on the wild pitch.
Here's that breaking ball, Oral, you were talking about earlier, where it breaks back the other way in the dirt. You have to anticipate the way it's going to break as a catcher, and Grindal was unable to get his body in front of that to smother it, and it gets away from him.
Inciarte is on deck. The Diamondbacks with but their second runner in scoring position since the third inning. Two and one to Pollock. 3-1. Chris Hatcher continues to warm in the Dodger bullpen. Inciarte, a left-handed hitter, is on deck. Pollock 2 for 13 so far this season. Looking for his first RBI. There goes the runner. And he makes it to third without a throw as Pollock walks to first.
Well, it's a good time to go because you know the pitcher is really trying to make a quality pitch and concentrate on the hitter. A, to not walk him, and B, to still make a quality pitch. So the concentration completely at home. Gets an outstanding jump as JP turns his head to concentrate on the hitter and walks into third.
So Howell has dug himself a big hole. Mattingly is coming out, and he may go to Hatcher. Hatcher, the hope is, can produce some ground balls. So let's see what they're going to do. We're going to have a 5-man infield. We've seen it before. So now playing second base, sort of, is Yasiel Puig.
Well, Inciarte has such great speed that he's going to be hard to double up on a ground ball. So the Dodgers right now with Don Mattingly are committing to throwing the runner out at home plate. And if they do that and have to face Goldschmidt up there with 2 outs, I think Goldschmidt will get walked, and then Trumbo will have to come to the plate with 2 outs to drive the run in. Last year, Andre Ethier was usually the guy that came in, but he is not in the game now, of course, in the lineup. So now it's Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, and understand where they're putting Yasiel Puig. So they're putting him at third because you have everybody in, and you're putting him at third. And this goes back to you're looking at a lefty. You're going, where is it most likely not to hit it in the infield? So you're going to keep your infielders and spread them out, but you still want to cover that, and that's why Yasiel's over there at third base.
Puig at third, sort of. Uribe at short, sort of. Rollins is at short, sort of. Kendrick and Gonzalez on the right side for Inciarte, who grounds it past Gonzalez, and that's going to win the game for the Diamondbacks. Ender Inciarte with a single to right as Arizona, with a run in the bottom half of the 10th inning, has beaten the Dodgers 4-3. If the Dodgers had a 7-man infield, it was not going to stop that base hit. Inciarte with the base hit past the diving Gonzalez is our Lexus play of the game. There was nothing Adrian could do about it, or anybody else for that matter.
Well, a couple of walks, a wild pitch, and a stolen base, and that leads to a hit, a clean base hit. But the table was set for the Diamondbacks.
The Dodgers were 15-4 against Arizona last year, but they come up short in the first game of the new season. Arizona wins it in 10. And so for Oral Hershiser, Nomar Garciaparra, Alana Rizzo, Charlie Steiner saying good night and goodbye from Phoenix. Now we send it to Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by Nissan. Coming up next.